conversation that is to do with the question of Nairobi race, the governorship race, because one Mike Sonko, the governor who served with the Speaker Elijah here, was impeached on the 17th of December 2020, and currently Benson Mutura is the acting governor. Do you have a voice of one Margaret Wanjiru who is eyeing that seat on UDA party ticket? Listen.
Huyu mama naitwa Anna or Ann Kananu, whatever her name is. Na muomba tu huyo mama ajiheshimu. Aseme hata hii vita ya governor sitaki. Kwa ajili, wacha nikwambie Ann, ile maombi watu wa Nairobi wanaomba ni maombi ina uchungu. Nairobi tumefika boiling point. Tunataka kiongozi ambao atatuokoa.
Nairobi wanataka kiongozi ataokoa. That is Margaret Wanjiru who is eyeing that seat. But what we know is that the vetting of Ann Kananu for the position of Nairobi Deputy Governor will proceed as planned. That's according to Nairobi County Assembly Acting Speaker Geoffrey Majiwa, who maintains that the Assembly Appointment Committee will sit on Friday to vet the nominee and dismiss claims by the ousted Governor Mike Sonko that he had revoked her nomination. And let me begin with you, DG Mweke. What are your thoughts on the happenings in Nairobi? Should Ann Kananu be vetted, or should we just go to the election by the 18th of February?
I'll retreat back to what the law says, some. And this one, it's not even my opinion. Really, it's the Constitution of Kenya 2010. And the Constitution says, if there is a vacancy in the office of the governor and the office of the deputy governor at the same time, then the Speaker of the County Assembly will take over for 60 days, within which there shall, and the Constitution doesn't say a maybe or might, it says shall be an election to elect a new governor. Now, what we need to agree as Kenyans, of just Kenyans of goodwill, is there a vacancy in the office of the governor and a vacancy in the office of the deputy governor in Nairobi today? And the answer is yes. Why? Because that is why the speaker is acting as governor, right? So under which law or which window or which hole is the County Assembly of Nairobi using to vet somebody for deputy governor? That's question number one. Question number two, the acting governor will hand over to the elected governor after the elections, which are held within 60 days. Where in the law does it say that the acting governor is going to hand over power to a DG, a deputy governor, who has been vetted by the county assembly? Nowhere. Which laws are we using? This country is run by the rule of law. Yeah. Number three, the only time, again by law, that a deputy governor can ascend to be governor is if the governor's seat vacates while there is a sitting deputy governor. So even if Ann Kananu is vetted and she becomes a sitting deputy governor, how will she ascend to become the governor? Because the office of the governor is not vacant. There's an acting governor. So it is wrong on so many levels. Okay. And my thing is, it is so wrong, and Wakili Omari should agree with me on this, that it has to reach a point in our country where people who abuse their offices must be personally liable for it. If you do something so wrong and you know it is so wrong, seriously, there must be a consequence. So all this money that's going to be used by the appointments committee to sit, all this money that's going to be used for advertisements or vetting of the deputy governor, while they know it's wrong, somebody should be able to pay that money to the people of Kenya. Because you can't be an affront of our constitution like that.
Okay, Speaker Elachi, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to say this to Nairobi County, that sometimes it is good to listen, because you will find again yourselves in the hands of the same judiciary that my CJ retired is talking about, that don't take yourself to court. Why do you want to take yourself to court? Why do you want to find yourself again tied, your hands tied? And when I was at Nairobi County, there's one thing I did, and I would have wished that would have helped Nairobi to move. I went to the Supreme Court and asked for an advisory. At that time, when I realized, okay, fine, Governor Sonko has taken too long because of this issue of the deputy governor. And here we are again. At that time, we were now looking at other issues, that the judgment of Judge Mumbi, whether he has, it's right for him to continue doing all these things. That advisory we went through, and the Supreme Court was to give the ruling, I know by virtue, 18th of December. I know it has taken long, they have not. That advisory maybe would have helped Nairobi, because at that time we were saying, if a governor does not, has decided to just refuse to appoint a deputy governor, can the ruling party that had given, they are the ones who won Nairobi, be given the opportunity to nominate somebody from the party to come and now become the deputy? So I don't know. You know, the advisory might go either way.
There's no decision on that as yet.
Yes, and it would have helped. Now we are here with Anne. Yes, we were to vet Anne. You know, it's good now to be honest. It's 2021. We were to vet Anne. I took the name on the floor of the House. It was supposed to go to the Appointments Committee then. There were issues. You know, it's good. And that's why I say sometimes I would hate to take myself to court. There were issues that needed to have been cleaned. One is that when you are a civil servant and you have been seconded to this county, I don't know how that secondment worked. It's also something, you know, when you start putting out things, you know, you question a lot of, you open up a Pandora that was not supposed to be opened. So you need to resign now from KAA. That's where Anne is really an employee. And so you're a secondment as a chief officer. Now you've been brought to be a deputy governor. I know many people now started fighting me and say, vet her first, let her finish, then she resigns. I said, she needs to resign. I'm not telling her to resign as a chief officer, because if she does not get her job, she will go back as a chief officer of Nairobi County. But I am saying by law, I need her to vacate to be a secondment from a civil servant. That was where we stopped.
Kenya Airports Authority.
Yes, that is where we stopped.
Okay.
And that is what hindered the vetting. Now, I don't know whether they have cleaned up that, but now let us come to the rule of law now here. If you knew very well you wanted now to vet Anne, I want to now be in law. You wanted to vet Anne now. Why was it? Why did you then swear in an acting speaker to hold as an acting governor? Because you have nobody right now to give that appointment letter. Okay, I understand.
I'm looking at Article 182 of the Constitution that says that, this is Article 4, if a vacancy occurs in the office of the county governor and that of deputy county governor, or if the deputy county governor is unable to act, the Speaker of the County Assembly shall act as county governor. And Article 5 says that if a vacancy occurs in the circumstances contemplated by Clause 4, an election to the office of county governor shall be held within 60 days after the Speaker assumes the office of county governor. And Dunstan Omari, you're the advocate here. So with all this happening, despite what the County Assembly wants to do, is it a possibility that midway, when a speaker is acting as governor, you can come in and say, oh, we had a deputy governor nominee, we can actually vet her and make her governor? Is it possible?
Sam, I do agree with Speaker Elachi that the law and also the DG, that the law cannot be bent. It can't be made, they cannot ukarabati that thing. One, Sonko appointed the lady. Legally, he has no power, but that happened. Number two, Speaker Elachi has raised very fundamental questions. Can a civil servant on secondment be given a political office while still a civil servant? No. You must resign. Free. Sonko was impeached. At the time he was impeached, by law, any nomination that had not been sworn in by operation of the law, the lady Kananu became, by operation of the law, a nullity. She cannot be a deputy. If she's being vetted, and that is what Mwete raised. She's being vetted for the position of a deputy governor. A deputy governor of who? You will be a deputy governor of an existing governor. The deputy governor does not exist in a vacuum. And that is why the law says, upon the vacancy arising of a governor, the existing deputy governor, not one in a cabinet, the existing deputy governor must be sworn in. And within 14 days, nominate a deputy governor. So the question, the legal questions that are there is, she is going to occupy the position of a deputy governor. How does she move up to be a governor? Because she's not being vetted for governor. She must be substantive. The questions we have today were resolved yesterday. Maraga retired, and the substantive deputy CJ assumed the acting position. If there was no substantive deputy CJ, that position will remain vacant until a substantive CJ is appointed. That was also amplified when Justice retired Mutunga left the office, because Chief Justice Nancy Baraza had left. Justice Ibrahim came just to hold brief until a substantive deputy Chief Justice was appointed. That the law said within 60 days, the Nairobian will go for an election. That is the law. But what about the politics? The reality is there that two factions of Jubilee are fighting for the Nairobi position. One seems to be a very big threat in terms of likely to succeed. I'm not saying the Tangatanga are likely to succeed, but there is concerted effort between the president and the deputy president to ensure there is no elections in Nairobi. And that is what Speaker Elachi says. Don't take yourself to the judiciary. When the judiciary makes a decision based on the law, then you start saying the judiciary is bad. I am sure we are likely to see, either if matters were filed yesterday, we are likely to see the court stopping the vetting of Anne Kananu, because one thing, by law, it is bad in test. Number two, there is a by-election to be conducted. You have seen some. Look at how impunity is here. The acting speaker has already appointed a ministry for education. Remember, the law is upon a vacancy arising out of impeachment, all the CECs of Nairobi lost their job pursuant to Article 179. There is a CEC sitting alone, appointed by the deputy governor. Is that not the impunity the CJ is talking? We are looking at this country, and I agree with Speaker Elachi.
Okay.
Let us respect the rule of law.
All right, Dunstan.
Dunstan. To be a governor, Dunstan. The field, thank God Omari will not be in the ballot box. Let those ones who want to be there face it off and I'm sure the courts are going to agree with my interpretation, and that's the interpretation of the law. That's the interpretation everybody. It will not change. The elections must be conducted within 60 days. And out of curiosity, Sam.
All right, Dunstan, I need to stop you there because I need us to wind up by taking a look at some of the feedback that you've received on the different topics you've had. Then I'll give Speaker Elachi and DG Mweke each 20 seconds to wind up. First, can you take a look at the feedback?
Thank you. That's perfect.
Right, you're tweeting us at Citizen TV Kenya, Asam Gituku, the hashtag to use is daybreak, and Kevin's World, this is Derek Kevin, says that the most important guarantors of the rule of law are the citizens. They give institutions meaning. Kenyans must increasingly agitate for rule-based society at all levels. Hashtag daybreak. Someone else is tweeting us saying, let's see that on what topic you're talking about. This is Jacob Abere. You're saying that in this country, succession issues, either in judiciary and executive, is a deep cancerous wound. Citizens have been dressing with salty water than going for chemotherapy. Maraga succession now needs us to rethink. Someone else is saying, again still on Twitter, that Kevo, you're saying that the most epitome thing, the epitome thing to consider when choosing a leader, this he means president, is the development record, but then the presidency cannot be a reserve of only 2 communities in a multi-ethnic society with over 50 ethnicities. I support the president's sentiment. Do you have something else? This is the last one, hashtag daybreak. This is Mirera Nyabuto. We cannot assume that it's not about tribe. In a country that has over 45 different communities, that is a lie. Also centering integration and inclusion of all people and power government by creating slots for every is not a lasting solution, and it's expensive for a small country like Kenya. Speaker Elachi, your last word, 20 seconds.
I think what I just need to tell Nairobians is that it's unique, and there's a lacuna in all this. In the spirit of the law, what we need to do is to relook at everything and ask ourselves, when I look at now that the functions are with DG, now you want to go to a campaign and bring a governor, it also will put you into a very awkward situation because the governor comes in, new governor must have the functions back, must work around. It will distort Nairobi completely. My proposal, it might be a worst proposal, but it's my proposal in terms of thinking, is that why can't they sit down, think? The speaker is there to, if you don't go to an election, he will continue. The law allows for him to continue to be acting, but you need to have something that the Senate, because there is a lacuna, the Senate can propose even a committee which will come and relook at Nairobi so that you bring back the sectors and work around to ensure in 2022, whoever takes over has a government to take over. From body and from
Speaker Elachi, I wish you had time because I needed you to clarify what lacuna is specifically you're talking about. Yet the law is very clear.
Within the, no. The lacuna is this. Yes, it is within the law. But we took advantage of the same law and created a crisis ourselves, where we gave a governor a long time, yet the constitution was clear. In 14 days now, the law came in and the amendment was done by the Senate, that in 14 days, a governor has to appoint a deputy governor. We gave him a lot of opportunity to stay 1 year. Why? It was wrong also. Now we come and now find ourselves in this crisis.
All right.
And you'll allow me to leave.
DG Mweke, please, 20 seconds strictly.
Okay. Yes, 20 seconds. First of all, you read the law. Speaker Elachi, the law does not allow the speaker to act until the elections. It allows the speaker to act for 60 days.
I said there's a lacuna.
Yeah, and some read it. So people of Nairobi just need their constitutional right. Like Bishop Wanjiru said, it is the prayer of the people of Nairobi that they want to elect their governor, the person who's going to represent them. It's about representation. So let's just do the right thing. We are in this lacuna right now because we refuse to follow the law.
Yes.
We have another chance to follow the law. I just want to urge the MCA for Babadogo, the acting speaker, the former mayor of Nairobi, Majiwa, do the right thing. The law is clear. You have lawyers from the assembly. Cancel that vetting. Let Nairobians go and elect their governor on February 18th, 2021.
All right, DG Jonathan Mweke and former Speaker Beatrice Elachi, I just